I'm Tracy, and I would like to introduce you to Callum of Gargonic, I'll have you know. So he's a Scottish Highland, a Garan Highland, and I rode him from the top of Scotland to Land's End and around Southern Ireland. It was funny, when I first saw him, the owner said, "You ain't got enough budget, lassie." That was one of my first rides. Actually, my first ride was through New Zealand. When we arrived in New Zealand, it was £60. My friend and myself, Alison, and we had a dream to ride 2,000 miles the length of New Zealand, and people laughed at us and they said, "You two pommy Sheilas, you'll never do it." So when we arrived in New Zealand, that was the first ride, when I was 25, and we were up here on Hamel Down, and myself and my friend Alison said, "Oh, well, we just agreed, our dream was to ride the length of New Zealand on horseback." So we arrived in New Zealand with only £60 between us. And people laughed at us and said, "You two pommy Sheilas, you'll never do that." And we said, "All things are possible, God." And then after that, I really got the bug of riding by faith in God. I crossed Europe from Greece to northwest Spain. And actually, here is Joanna, who I brought back from Spain, and she's involved. I brought her in Greece, accompanied by Hermes, and we crossed Greece, the top of northern Italy, heading for the Alps. We climbed over the Alps, which is kind of hairy at sometimes, some moments, and then we went down through southwest of France, over the Pyrenees, and headed way north and west across northern Spain to Santiago on the Camino Trail. And I was determined to get them back here to England. The authorities say it wasn't possible, but I said, "Oh, all things possible, God," because I knew they would only go for meat. So at vast cost, I got them shipped back here, Joanna and Hermes. And Hermes is now being ridden by a lady who's 94. She says she's just a bit younger than the Queen. And Joanna, I've just put in foal to Thunder Bay, one of my Dartmoor stallions. So that combination, I think, is going to produce something really special in the spring. So I'm looking forward to that. Hey, Joanna? And then after the Europe ride, I went to Israel and to photograph the reenactment of the Charge of Beersheba, which was when, in the First World War, the Anzacs, the Australians and New Zealanders and the British, the Australians actually did the gallop. 800 horses galloped over the trenches and captured Beersheba, and with the New Zealanders and the British and the other Allied forces, it changed the tide of the battle there. And then I rode horses around Israel, which was so interesting, meeting so many interesting horsemen and women and learning about the country firsthand. I forgot to tell you about the American ride. The American ride actually was after the Ireland ride. So the American ride was another dream come true when I rode from Mexico to Canada across America, which was pretty epic. 6 months, but it was amazing. I met so many cowboys and Indians. But it was a dream come true because I used to play cowboys and Indians here on Dartmoor as about a 7-year-old on these Dartmoor ponies. One day being a cowboy with my little capsules, smoking capsules, and then the next day being an Indian riding bareback, of course, with my bow and arrow. So I've done 5 long distance rides. It's just a wonderful adventure with God. That's why I call them riding my faith. So yeah, please do take a look at them, and they're on my website. If you love horses and adventure, I think you'll be intrigued.